The @ sign, at, normally read aloud as at, also commonly called the @ symbol or commercial at, is originally an accounting and commercial invoice abbreviation meaning at a rate of. In contemporary use, the @ sign is most commonly used in email addresses. It was not included on the keyboard of the earliest commercially successful typewriters, but was on at least one 1889 model and the very successful Underwood models from the Underwood No. 5 inches in 1900 onward. It is now universally included on computer keyboards. The mark is encoded at U+0040 at commercial at. The fact that there is no single word in English for the symbol has prompted some writers to use the French arabesque, Spanish and Portuguese araba, or to coin new words such as aspirant, ampersand and strudel, but none of these have achieved wide usage. History. Origin theories. The earliest yet discovered reference to the @ symbol is a religious one. It features in a Bulgarian translation of the Greek chronicle written by Constantinos Manasses in 1345. Held today in the Vatican Apostolic Library, it features the @ symbol in place of the capital letter alpha A in the word Amen. Why it was used in this context is still a mystery. In terms of the commercial character like Sylvia of the @ sign, there are several theories pending verification. One theory is that the symbol developed as a mercantile shorthand symbol of each at, the symbol resembling a small a inside a small e, to distinguish it from the different at or per. For example, the cost of 12 apples at $1 would be $23, whereas the cost of 12 apples at $4 would be $3, a crucial and necessary distinction. Another theory is that medieval monks abbreviated the Latin word ad next to a numeral. One reason for this abbreviation was that it saved space and ink, since thousands of pages of biblical manuscripts were copied onto expensive papyrus hides, and the words at, toward, by and about repeated millions of times throughout the pages. A considerable amount of resources could be spared this way. A theory concerning this graphic puts forward the idea that the form derives from the Latin word ad, using the older form of lowercase d, which persists as the partial derivative symbol. It has been theorized that it was originally an abbreviation of the Greek preposition alpha nu alpha, meaning at the rate of a per. Another theory is that it derives from the Norman French a, meaning at, in the each sense, i.e. 2 widgets of £5.50 equals £11. Comes the accountancy shorthand notation in English commercial vouchers and ledgers to the 1990s, when the email usage overtook the accountancy usage. It is also used like this in modern French, Swedish or Czech. In this view, the @ symbol is a stylized form of that avoids raising the writing hand from the page in drawing the symbol. This compromised between it and a in French handwriting is found in street market signs. History. Whatever the origin of the @ symbol, the history of its usage is more well known. It has long been used in Spanish and Portuguese as an abbreviation of araba, a unit of weight equivalent to 25 pounds, and derived from the Arabic expression of a quarter. An Italian academic claims to have traced the @ symbol to the 16th century. In a mercantile document sent by Florentine Francesco Lapi from Seville to Rome on May 4, 1536. The document is about commerce with Pizarro, in particular the price of an at of wine in Peru. In Italian, the symbol was interpreted to mean amphora. Currently, the word araba means both the @ symbol and a unit of weight. In Italian, the symbol represents 1 amphora, a unit of weight and volume based upon the capacity of the standard amphora jar, and entered modern meaning and use as at the rate of or at price of in Northern Europe. Until now, the first historical document containing a symbol resembling it as a commercial one is the Spanish Tabla de Ariza, a registry to denote a wheat shipment from Castile to Aragon in 1448. Even though the oldest fully developed modern sign is the one found on the above-mentioned Florentine letter, modern use. Commercial usage. In contemporary English usage, at is a commercial symbol, called at sight or at rate, meaning at and at the rate of. It has rarely been used in financial documents or grosses price tags, and is not used in standard typography. Since the 23rd of October 2012, the at sign is registered as a trademark by the German Patent and Trademark Office, DPMA, for at TEL. While company promoters have claimed that it may from now on be illegal for other commercial interests to use the at sign, this only applies to identical or confusingly similar goods, and no court, German or otherwise, has yet ruled on this purported illegality. Contemporary usage. A common contemporary use of it is in email addresses, as in JDO at example. BBN Technologies. Ray Tomlinson is credited with introducing this usage in 1971. This idea of the symbol representing located at in the form user at host is also seen in other tools and protocols. For example, the Unix shell command sshjdo at example. Net tries to establish an SSH connection to the computer with the hostname example net using the username JDOE. On web pages, organizations often obscure email addresses of the members or employees by omitting the at. This practice, known as address munging, makes the email addresses less vulnerable to spam programs that scan the internet for them. Another contemporary use of the at symbol in American English is adding information about a sporting event. Opposing sports teams sometimes have the names separated by V. However, the V may be replaced with at when also conveying at which team's home field the game will be played. In this case, the away team is written first. This usage is not followed in British English, since conventionally the home team is written first. On some online forums without threaded discussions, at is used to denote a reply, for instance, at Jane, to respond to a comment Jane made earlier. Similarly, in some cases, at is used for attention in email messages originally sent to someone else. For example, if an email was sent from Catherine to Steve, but in the body of the email, Catherine wants to make Kirsten aware of something, Catherine will start the line at Kirsten to indicate to Kirsten that the following sentence concerns her. This also helps with mobile email users who cannot see bolder color in email. In microblogging, at before the username is used to send publicly readable replies. The blog and client software can automatically interpret these as links to the user in question. When included as part of a person's or company's contact details, an at symbol followed by a name is normally understood to refer to a Twitter ID. A similar use of the at symbol was also made available to Facebook users on September 15, 2009. In Internet Relay Chat, it is shown before users' nicks to denote they have operator status on a channel. Programming it is used in various programming languages, although there is not consistent theme to its usage. For example, in ALGOL 68, the at symbol is brief form of the at keyword. It is used to change the lower bound of an array. For example, array now refers to an array starting at index 88. In ActionScript, at is used in XML parsing and traversal as a string prefix to identify attributes in contrast to child elements. In CSS, at is used in special statements outside of a CSS block. In C#, it denotes verbatim strings, where no characters are escaped and two double quote characters represent a single double quote. As a prefix, it also allows keywords to be used as identifiers, a form of stropping. In the ASP.NET MVC Razor template markup syntax, the @@ character denotes the start of code statement block, so the start of text content. In Forth, it is used to fetch values from the address on the top of the stack. The operator is pronounced as fetch. In Haskell, it is used in so-called as patterns. This notation can be used to give aliases to patterns, making them more readable. In Java, it has been used to denote annotations, a kind of metadata, since version 5.0. In live code, it is prefixed to a parameter to indicate that the parameter is passed by reference. In ML, it denotes list concatenation. In modal logic, specifically when representing possible worlds, @ is sometimes used as a logical symbol to denote the actual world. In Objective-C, @ is prefixed to language-specific keywords such as int implementation and to form string literals. In Pascal, @ is the address of operator. In Perl, @ prefixes variables which contain arrays at array, including array slices at array and hash slices at hash, foo, bar, baz, or at hash, qw. This use is known as a sigil. In PHP, it is used just before an expression to make the interpreter suppress errors that would be generated from that expression. In Python 2.4 and up, it is used to decorate a function. In Ruby, it functions as a sigil. @ prefixes instance variables, and @ prefixes class variables. In Scala, it is used to denote annotations, and also to bind names to subpatterns in pattern matching expressions. In Swift, @ prefixes annotations that can be applied to classes or members. Annotations tell the compiler to apply special semantics to the declaration like keywords, without adding keywords to the language. In TSQL, @ prefixes variables. In several XSpace-type programming languages, like DBASE, FoxPro, Visual FoxPro and Clipper, it is used to denote position on the screen. For example, at 1 set hello to show the word hello in line 1, column 1. In FoxPro, Visual FoxPro, it is also used to indicate explicit pass by reference of variables when calling procedures of functions. In Windows PowerShell, @ is used as array operator for array and hash table literals and for enclosing here string literals. In the domain name system, @ is used to represent the $origin, typically the root of the domain without a prefixed subdomain. Gender neutrality in Spanish and Portuguese. In Portuguese and Spanish, as well in other West Iberian languages where many words end in o when in the masculine gender and end a in the feminine, @ is sometimes used as a gender-neutral substitute for the default o ending, which some advocates of gender-neutral language modification feel indicates implicit linguistic disregard for women. These languages do not possess a neutral gender, and the masculine forms are also used traditionally when referring to groups of mixed or unknown sex. The @ sign is intended to replace the desinence o, including its plural form os, due to the resemblance to a digraph of an inner letter a and an outer letter o. The Spanish and Portuguese word amigos is an example of the @ being used for gender-inclusive purposes. When the word represents not only male friends, but also female ones, the proponents of a gender-inclusive language replace it with amigotes. In this sense, amigos would be used only when the writer is sure the group referred to is all male. Usage of amigos is the same in traditional and such new forms of communication. Alternative forms for a gender-inclusive @ sign would be the slash sign and the circle A. However, it is more common to use the masculine ending first and include the feminine in parentheses, as in amigos. For more about this, see satiric misspelling. Lately, though, it's becoming more and more common to use the X letter instead, a use that is the choice of advocates of gender-inclusive language, but strongly frowned upon by people not adhere to said movement. The Real Academia Española disapproves of the use of the @ sign as a letter. Other uses and meanings in scientific and technical literature. @ is used to describe the conditions under which data are valid or a measurement has been made. E.g., the density of salt water may read D equals 1.050 grams per cc at 15 degrees Celsius. Density of a gas D equals 0.150 grams per liter at 20 degrees Celsius. 1 bar, or noise of a car 81 decibels at 80 kilometers per hour. As an abbreviation for alias in articles about missing persons, obituaries, brief reports, for instance, John Smith or Gene Smith. For example, a Chinese Singaporean may use two transliterations of his or her Chinese name. In chemical formulae, @ is used to denote trapped atoms or molecules. For instance, the at C6O means lanthanum inside a fullerene cage. See article Endahedral fullerene for details. In Malagasy, @ is an informal abbreviation for the prepositional form armene ny. In genetics, @ is the abbreviation for locus, as in isolate for immunoglobulin lambda locus. In the Koalab language of Sudan, @ is used as a letter in Arabic loanwords. The Unicode Consortium rejected a proposal to encode it separately as a letter in Unicode, but SIL International uses private use area code points U plus F247 and U plus F248 for lowercase and capital versions. A schwa, as the actual schwa character E, may be difficult to produce on many computers. It is used in this capacity in the ASCII IPA schemes SAMPA, XSAMPA and Kirschenbaum. In lead it may substitute for the letter A. It is frequently used in typing and text messaging as an abbreviation for tat. In Portugal it may be used in typing and text messaging with the meaning French kiss. In online discourse, @ is used by semanicasts as a substitute for the traditional circle A. Names in other languages. In many languages other than English, although most typewriters included the symbol, the use of it was less common before email became widespread in the mid-1990s. Consequently, it is often perceived in those languages as denoting the Internet, computerization, or modernization in general. In Afrikaans, it is called aapstert, meaning monkey tail, similarly to the Dutch use of the word. In Arabic, it is. In Armenian, it is, which means puppy. In Azeri, it is et, which means dog. In Basque, it is a bildoua. In Belarusian, it is called. In Bosnian, it is ludoe. In Bulgarian, it is called or. In Catalan, it is called arova or enzimada. In Chinese, in mainland China, it used to be called a, meaning circled a, enclosed a, or a, meaning lacy a, and sometimes as, meaning little mouse. Nowadays, for most of China's youth, it is called, which is the phonetic transcription from tat. In Taiwan, it is meaning little mouse. In Hong Kong and Macau, it is at. In Croatian, it is most often referred to by the English word tat. Informally, it is called a monkey, coming from the local pronunciation of the English word monkey. Note that the Croatian word for monkey, majman, is not used to denote the symbol. In Czech and Slovak, it is called zavanak, which means roll mops. In Danish, it is snabel a. It is not used for prices, where in Danish a alone means at. In Dutch, it is called a penchtaatu. The A is the first character of the Dutch word aap, which means monkey. However, the use of the English at has become increasingly popular in Dutch. In Esperanto, it is called ce-sinya, po-sinya, or helico. In Estonian, it is called that, from the English word tat. In Faroese, it is kurla hje at tranta, or snapple a. In Finnish, it was originally called taksumaki or iksikkoinenmerkki, but these names are long obsolete and now rarely understood. Nowadays, it is officially at merkki, according to the National Standardization Institute SFS, frequently also spelled at merkki. Other names include kisanhanta and myukum, suku. In French, it is now officially the arabase, or a commercial. Its origin is the same as that of the Spanish word, which could be derived from the Arabic arub. In France, it is also common to say the English word at when spelling out an email address. In everyday Quebec French, one often hears a commercial when sounding out an email address, while TV and radio hosts are more likely to use arabase. In Georgian, it is at spelled. In German, it has sometimes been referred to as Klammer vor Affenschwanz. Klammer vor Affenschwanz refer to the similarity of it to the tail of a monkey having a bra. Lately, it has mostly been called at, just like in English. In Greek, it is most often referred to as pi alpha kappa iota, meaning duckling, due to the similarity it bears with comic character designs for ducks. In Greenlandic and Inuit language, it is called arjusak, meaning alike or something that looks like a. In Hebrew, it is colloquially known as due to the visual resemblance to a cross-section cut of a strudel cake. The normative term, invented by the Academy of the Hebrew Language, which is another Hebrew word for strudel, but is rarely used. In Hindi, it is at, from the English word. In Hungarian, it is called kukak. In Icelandic, it is referred to as atmakith or hje at, which is a direct translation of the English word tat. In Indian English, speakers often say at the rate of. In Indonesian, it is usually a. Variations exist, especially if verbal communication is very noisy, such as a bunda and a bulit, a keong, and a monye. In Irish, it is aga comha the atag. In Italian, it is chio chiola or a commercial, sometimes at or ad. In Japanese, it is called that omaku. The word is waseigad, a loan word from the English language. It is sometimes called Naruto, because of Naruto whirlpools of food. In Kazakh, it is officially called, sometimes unofficial as. In Korean, it is called Geolbarangai, a dialectal form of Welk. In Kurdish, it is at, from the English word. In Kyrgyz, it is officially called, sometimes unofficially as, and a. In Latvian, it is pronounced the same as in English, but, since in Latvian is written as e, it is sometimes written as a. In Lithuanian, it is a. In Luxembourgish it used to be called a feischwanz, but due to widespread use, it is now called at, as in English. In Macedonian, it is called. In Malay, it is called alias when it is used in names and I when it is used in email addresses. It is also commonly used to abbreviate atau, which means or either. In Morse code, it is known as a comet, consisting of the Morse code for the A and C, which run together as one character. The symbol was added in 2004 for use with email addresses, the only official change to Morse code since World War I. In Norwegian, it is officially called Krøllalfa. Sometimes Snabel A, the Swedish-Danish name, is used. Commonly, people will call the symbol, particularly when giving their email addresses. In Persian, it is at, from the English word. In Polish, it is called, both officially and commonly, Malpa, and sometimes Malpka. In Portuguese, it is called araba. The word araba is also used for a weight measure in Portuguese. 1 araba is equivalent to 32 Old Portuguese pounds, approximately 14.7 kilograms, and both the weight and the symbol are called araba. In Brazil, cattle are still priced by the araba, now rounded to 15 kilogram. In Romanian, it is most commonly called at, but also colloquially called coda de memuta or a rond. The latter is commonly used, and it comes from the word round, but that is nothing like the mathematical symbol a rond. Others call it aron, or la. In Russian, it is most commonly. The name dog has come from Soviet computers DVK, where the symbol had a short tail and similarity to a dog. In Serbian, it is called or. In Slovak, it is called zavanak. In Slovenian, it is called afna. In Spanish-speaking countries, it denotes a pre-metric unit of weight. While there are regional variations in Spain and Mexico, it is typically considered to represent approximately 25 pounds, and both the weight and the symbol are called araba. In Swedish, it is called snabel or simply at, as in the English language. Less formally, it is also known as kanelbel or alpha-kral. In Swiss German, it is commonly called Affenschwanz. However, the use of the English it has been becoming increasingly popular in German. In Tagalog, the word it means, and the symbol is thus used like an ampersand in colloquial writing such as text messages. In Thai, it is commonly called at, as in English. In Turkish, it is commonly called a, like in English but written in Turkish letters. In Ukrainian, it is commonly called, other names being t and. In Urdu, it is. In Uzbek, it is called kachacha, which loosely means dog-eat, a direct calque from Russian. In Vietnamese, it is called a kong in the north and amoc in the south. In Welsh, it is sometimes known as a malwan or malwoden. Unicode Variants. U plus 0040 regular commercial at. U plus FF20 full width commercial at. U plus Fa6B small commercial at. In culture, the Museum of Modern Art admitted the id sign to its Architecture and Design collection. Author Philip Pullman added the category of things that were invented for one purpose, but are used for another, to his Museum of Curiosity collection with the id as an example. John Lloyd pledged on Chi Series A DVD to support widespread use of the term astatine to refer to the symbol. This name was chosen as the chemical element astatine has the chemical symbol AT. American R&B singer Usher used a version of the AT sign in his career, where the A was replaced with the vowel U from his name. Puerto Rican artist Miguelito also uses his version of the AT sign where the A is replaced by the letter M from his name in his own line of merchandise that includes clothes, school supplies, his studio albums, etc. A Chinese couple tried to name the son out of pronouncing it Ita or love him, according to the Chinese State Language Commission. In the 1980 video game Rogue, presented in ASCII graphics, the player character is represented by the AT. Many similar games, called roguelikes, use the same presentation, and traditionally use the AT to represent the player character as well.